What's up, YouTube? Don't forget to save, aka Sam, back at you with the Monday video. And as promised, we'll be reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. But before I do, for anybody that's new to the channel or not new to the channel, please drop a like if you like this content. Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Subscribe if you haven't. With all that said, guys, let's jump into it here. Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. Its release date was on July 28th of 1989. Quick little personal story aside here. That was my 10th birthday, so it's been over 30 years since this movie was released. It boggles my mind to think about that and ages me quite a bit. So anyway, we're going to move on. It was directed by Rob Hedden, and it was his debut directing, movie. Uh, it was also the last Paramount to distribute the film in the series, and it had the highest budget for any Friday the 13th at $5 million. Now, going on to real quick here about the last Paramount distributed film. From what I can gather from research, Paramount was kind of embarrassed by the Friday the 13th series. And when it didn't do as well as they thought it was supposed to do at the box office, they signed they sold the rights off to Friday the 13th. So that's also it's interesting. Of course, we got Kane Hodder, aka Stinky Voorhees, as Jason again in this version, and he does a great job in this movie, I think. I didn't like that, and it may not be something that he consciously chose to do. I'm just saying something about the Jason that I noticed was like the whole teleporting thing happens in part 8, and I get the Jason's supernatural and all that, but I don't know, it's kind of jarring to me. I think Jason can slowly stalk his victims without having to teleport, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, outside of that, he did a really good job as Jason again. We had Jensen Dagedis as Rennie, Scott Reeves as Sean Robertson, and they were the final girl and the love interest. Also, fun fact, Ken Kersinger was the cook in the restaurant where they're in New York. Most of this was filmed in Vancouver. The Times Square thing was shot in New York, obviously, but like most of this was shot in Vancouver, and it was budget constrictions. They complain about the budget, but at the time, it was the biggest budget. This was before every movie had this giant heap of money that they could draw off of and throw at it. But anyway, um, Ken Kersinger was the cook and doubled as Jason in 2 scenes. So pre-Friday Freddy versus Jason, Ken Kersinger it had worked on a Friday the 13th movie, and he was also the stunt coordinator for Jason Takes Manhattan as well. So those are interesting things that we'll be revisiting in a future video. So basically the plot here is a bunch of people, they're like on a class trip, and they're in high school or whatever, and they board a boat named Lazarus. Now in the beginning, Jason gets resurrected, as he always does, as Jasons do, and he gets on the boat called Lazarus. If you're ever at Camp Crystal Lake and somebody offers you to get on a boat named Lazarus, I would probably suggest that you turn them down kindly. Anyway, it was again, yep. So, and they basically, they're on the boat for 3/4 of the movie, and they end up in New York, and it's kind of all over the map. Like I said, this should have been called Jason on a Boat, because you spend more time on the boat than you do anywhere. But it wasn't. You could tell that Paramount didn't really care too much about the series with this movie, unfortunately. A lot of people say it's the weakest movie in the series, but anyway, yeah, they end up in New York. The ending doesn't really make too much sense. It's just all over the map. If you guys that have watched it know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched it, watch Jason Takes Manhattan, only if to see, if it's just a standalone movie on its own, it's all right. But as a series movie, I don't know how well it holds up. So with all that said, guys, I don't normally do negative reviews. I didn't use any swear words or anything like that. But it's just it is what it is. It has a special place in my heart because it was released on my birthday, so that's why I kind of watch it and enjoy it. But it's not my favorite Jason movie by any means. So with all that said, guys, let me know your comments in the comments, or your thoughts in the comments section down below. Like the video if you like my content. We'll be talking about the Constitution tomorrow. We'll be starting on Article 5, Section 1 of the Constitution. So with all that said, guys, until next video, love your hobby and love you back. Peace.